All right, so we are back with another edition of our daily live training that we run as part of a biannual pop-up group that PBK hosts. And today we are going to talk about running a 5-day challenge or a 10-day challenge or whatever number you want to call it with Kajabi and biannual using Mighty Networks instead of a Facebook group. So it is might be a totally new idea for some of you. And I'm going to walk through. Amanda had this question and it was great. And that is, how do I run a specific number of days challenge with Kajabi? And it works so well. So let me get it started. So we got a 5-day challenge with Kajabi. And first, we're going to start like we always do, which is what is the North Pole to New York City? So North Pole, for those of you that haven't heard this before, this is your cold traffic or your reed magnets. And just like if you think about North Pole, it's cold. They don't know who you are. There's snow. North Pole. That's why we use the word North Pole. And then we have New York City, which outside of this COVID pandemic, we can all go to New York and spend our money and shop and eat at amazing restaurants. And as business owners, we want to get them from cold traffic, North Pole, to buying our core offer in New York City as fast as humanly possible. We do not want them to find us here and wander down through California and over to Texas and up to Idaho and down to Florida, and oh, by the way, they finally made it over here. A challenge is a great way to help this process go across. So in between, you're gonna have your lead magnet, which is when they opt in, and this is where we're gonna call it the 5-day CH. That's where the 5-day challenge is going to fit, because you wanna know what is my North Pole to New York City. Once they're in the challenge, you likely are going to have an offer for them to buy. So this is your intro offer. It's often commonly called a tripwire by some people. I also call it a lily pad, because when someone comes in and gives me their name and email, they might not be ready to jump all the way to what I offer as my New York City. They might need a lower price point or an lower time commitment to help them land on a lily pad and then move to New York City. So the 5-day challenge fits in the lead magnet spot. They're handing over their name and email, but they're not giving us any money just yet. So Amanda, that's what you guys are running, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So second is, how are we going to run said challenge? So your opt-in right here, this is going to be a Kajabi page that has a Kajabi form on it where they enter their info, and now they're in Kajabi. Okay, so they're in your Kajabi, I'll call it the ecosystem, because Kajabi doesn't run on a list system like some of you might be really familiar with. But now we have 5 days of content. So let's put our content over here. And we have 5 days of it. And usually we're going to have a what happens next. So that's our day 6. So next, which is typically when the intro offer would be available for them. And what is the easy way to deliver this content, both for them to consume, but also for you to manage? And I will say my very favorite way is to use a product in Kajabi. There's many reasons for this. One being, when they buy from you, right here, when they're buying either intro or New York City, more than likely, you're using a product to deliver that content. So you're training them, you're giving them the opportunity to see what the experience is like, even if they're not registering it at a conscious level. So when we use a product, we can then take this content, so all of this content that we had hanging out, we are going to copy it. Okay, we're going to shrink it. So that's our content. Same, we're going to move it right here inside the product, because I can use categories as my days. So category, we're going to, these would be our days. Okay, so day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Underneath that, I can use posts. So we'll say we had A, B, C, D. Using the feature in Kajabi that lets me have published or draft, which I'll show you, we'll pop over to Kajabi, published or draft, and published is a green check mark, and draft, I believe, is a gray check mark or an X. It might even be an X.
Yeah,
Is it an X?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
And then for these posts, is that where you would put like your lives when you go live to? Okay.
Yep. So here is where I would put my videos. It's where I would put my PDFs. Going live into a product is tricky. I'm not even sure you can go live into a product. So if you guys are doing a daily live, is it on Zoom?
It's a Zoom. Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm doing a Zoom,
post it afterwards. So that's probably what we would do, just for folks that might have missed it.
Yep.
They can go back later through the day and watch it.
Yep. Yeah, I would put the recording in the product for the Zoom, just like I have done with you guys. You just have the link inside the plate. You can just follow the link. Oh, click on the link and come to the Zoom. That's easy enough. And then the recording, I can then go and put into a product or on a YouTube channel or in a Facebook group, or for us now, Mighty Networks. But when it's inside the product, you can easily control what they see. You can preload it. They have one location that they go to. And the nice part is, just like we've talked about before, we're using the free product strategy. We're leveraging that. So we have the content piece. So you have a challenge experience plus FPS, which is free product strategy. I have sidebar real estate advertising. I have a nav bar real estate advertising. So in terms of, I'm using this to not just list build, but also increase my know, like, and trust factor. I want people to purchase. Well, yes, email is one piece of communicating I have something for sale. But as they're in here consuming the content, oh, look at that. I can use this product sidebar as my own personal high-end real estate billboard advertisement. So you're letting, especially if you want to pre-sell something, you don't have to depend, and you know this because you were like, only a small percentage even opened their email. Put them in a product. Give them multiple opportunities instead of putting all the eggs in the email marketing basket. The email marketing basket is one piece of an entire strategy. It's not, well, it can be all or nothing. For some people, it is all or nothing. When it is all or nothing, then you need a much bigger volume because a small percentage is opening. If it's one piece of the pie, I'm a big fan of, let's spread this over. I'll cover a lot of different places so that I'm gathering up people in all kinds of different areas. That's why I like the product.
You can actually have just all your comments inside Kajabi. So you don't even need a private, like you can use Mighty Networks, but you won't even need to if you do it this way.
Exactly.
Brilliant, Tamsin. Brilliant. I love you more and more every day.
Say that again, what you just said about Mighty Networks. What was that comment you guys just made?
So
Because
I
go ahead,
had an
Amanda.
epiphany moment where if we build a challenge, and again, like she said, it can be as many days as we want, but by building it in a product, at the end of every post, you have comments. So a lot of times the reason challenges are done on Facebook groups or in other community settings is for the conversation so that people can ask questions. People can go, I had a tough time with this challenge. Are there any blah, 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 blah. And we could use Mighty Networks, but by doing it in a product in Kajabi, all the comments are right there. Mm-hmm. So it emails you when someone comments, so you're aware of it. So you wouldn't even need an outside group like Mighty Networks.
No.
Unless you were wanting to build your community.
Right. If you want the comments feature on the post works exceptionally well, especially when people are just getting comfy, because it addresses both. There's usually two bookends. The person who's never going to comment, but wants to read all the comments. The person who has something to say about every darn thing and will write their entire autobiography every single time. And then the people in the middle that are like, yep, I'm making a comment, I'm reading them, I'm just kind of moving along. Using comments in a product for a challenge, because again, these are people that haven't paid you. So yes, you're pouring into them, but if you pour everything you have into only your free people, you're not going to have anything left to run the business. Comments allow the people that are just reading, they can read everything. It also keeps your higher end people a little bit in check because they can't make 87 comments a day. There's one comment space. You can delete things that are inappropriate, which is nice. And they're not always totally active, especially, it's 5 days. When it's a smaller challenge, comments in a product work really well. If it needs to be something that's very fluid and there's, lots of, real time back and forth, comments is going to feel a little stifling. Like, oh, this isn't letting us like talk back and forth, and that Facebook feel, that Facebook group feel, but that is not necessary for every 5-day challenge. Some 5-day challenges, it hurts you. So yes, that's why I'm so glad you picked up on that, because it's one of my many reasons why I like doing challenges and summits and all kinds of lead magnets using free product strategy.
So you're just allowing them to comment within the product category as though they were taking a course, and then each post has its own separate comment, but not everybody is seeing what nobody sees the comment except for us, right? The host.
Nope, you see it. Everybody sees it when they're in a product. And again, when you're moving them to your intro offer afterwards, they're going to be in the product at that point. That's why we use Kajabi, is because we want them to buy something that we're delivering in a product container. Teach them early. Don't try. If I'm going to have you buy a product and engage with a product over here when you've bought it, if I've given you time to kick the wheels and find your way around when you weren't spending your money, then you've eliminated this buyer remorse or buyer anxiety when they've purchased and now it's, oh my God, everything's new. I don't know where to go. I'm never going to use this thing. I'm never going to buy it. I need my money back. Please. Okay,
yeah.
No. Free product strategy. Let me bring you into an environment of exactly what you're going to see when you buy it. And so when you buy it, again, they're getting new content or they're getting a new experience, but unbeknownst to them, oh, I know how to make a comment. I know how to watch a video. I know how to do this because they did it when it was free. So there's lots of really, really good reasons, but the commenting, I can turn it on or off as the admin. So in a product, we'll open this up. And
yeah, I didn't realize everybody could see the comments, because the ones that I've been in, I never see anybody else's comments.
you can, depending on how they have it set. So when I come in here, so I'm on a post, and you'll see right here, if they have it set as hidden on the post, the admins will see it. If it's locked, nobody can make a comment. And if it's visible, you see it, I can answer it. Admins are, are notified, hey, a comment has been made. But if you're not seeing anything, this is what they've selected.
But I guess I thought that if anybody else was in that same product, watching and doing the homework or whatever, they could, what you're saying is the only person that can see the comments per post is the admin person, not the other people in the group, right?
Everybody can see them if it's marked as visible.
Okay.
If it's marked as hidden, then the admin is seeing them. If it's marked as locked, nobody's making them.
So to give that Facebook kind of feel, you leave it on visible?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So if you have certain posts that you don't want comments on, you want to make sure people are, let's comment here so that those comments are stacking, or there's a post that I don't want any comments on this page for whatever reason, I control this at the post level.
Okay. So you can, in that situation, can you do it post specific on what you want? Or is if you click one, it's across the board like the other things?
Nope. That's what I mean by it's controlled at the post level.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is at the post level. So here I click save, but I'm not controlling it at the product level. I'm controlling it on an individual lesson. So that's a lesson. If I go back here to the main screen, and you can see this here, just a minute. Okay, so this is the content of the product. You'll see nothing. But if I click on this, now I'm going into a post, and I can tell that because it says post details. And down here at the bottom, comments. So yes, you can use this. You don't have to have a separate group, which again, depending on the nature of the challenge, on the nature of the people, on what the purpose is that you're serving in that North Pole to New York City, that's when you determine what is it that I need to offer? What can I manage? How do I want to manage it? But it works.
Doing this, what would the front door look like? Just be a landing page that has the opt-in, and then once they do a double opt-in, it allows them the offer, and then would you just have to go in each day first thing in the morning and basically publicize?
Yep, I would do it manually so that you maintain control. And there's always a fire. There is, I don't care how prepared you are and how many times you've gone through your darn checklists, always a fire. Small one, like small smoldering is better than the whole thing blowing up. But I like keeping this level of control because let's say everything's supposed to go live every day at 9 a.m. And for whatever reason, you notice at 8:52 that there's a mini fire. When this stuff, when it's automated, like, because you could use drip, like I could put everybody into the product at the same time, and I could try, build out automation for everything. I could do this. That takes time to build, and mini fire happens 5 minutes before the automation is going to trigger. Like, okay, If I'm doing it manually, you know what? It takes me 35 minutes to put out that mini fire. Nobody knows. I'm not freaking out because I'm not trying to race against an automation and shut it off. And if I shut that off, it shuts off something else. I just like, go address the mini fire, go into my controls when the mini fire is done, and click a button. Much better.
Well, because you also have to create all the email broadcasts that go to this. So that's another set of fires that.
Yeah. And so exactly what you were saying, when they're in the product, and here, like we've done when we were talking about this before, I can have the form, we haven't gotten up here to this part. When the form is submitted, I'm going to attach an automation right here that is register to an event. And I'm going to make the challenge either the day it starts or the day that the cart opens. Whatever makes it less math in terms of counting days. I'm going to use Kajabi events for sure. I may not put I may use email broadcasts to send out, hey, here's today's info, because I'm maintaining control. And personally, for myself and for clients, until we've run that challenge 5 times, no fires, we don't automate it, because automation should scale my success, not dump me into a frenzy. And so I will keep it in email broadcasts when it's rung 5 times with no fire. Now it's ready to automate, because now when I turn it on, I know I've proven I've done it 5 times, no fires. Now I'm ready to go. Got it. Rinse and repeat. Scale that sucker as big as I possibly want it to go.
I have a question about the emails that come out of events. When you do an email broadcast, you have the analytics to look at who opens it, who doesn't. Do you have that with the event emails?
Let's go in. I will show you. So underneath marketing is where the events are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's pick, here's your 5-day challenge. Oh, did we have that? Is that today? Oh, it's the 24th. It's happening today. Look at that, Amanda. So here, one of the things we talked through was, okay, when they register, we're using sequences. So again, I can use a sequence. Would not be the first thing that I would recommend for what you're describing. I can put in my emails here. But the only place I can see, do you see how emails that I'm sending here are coming out from underneath this events tab?
Yes.
No button that says, oh, look at this, you sent these emails.
Correct.
Underneath email campaigns, what shows up are broadcasts and sequence stats.
Right.
Event emails do not show up here. So you can't look at analytics currently.
So because if you send hey, the cart's closing today inside an event, you don't even know who got it or didn't get it.
Yeah. So what I do is I will set the event for, I may have 0 emails attached to that event, but I've registered people for it. So let's say I wanted to send 1 hour before this, for instance, PBK is a great example. Sunday at noon, that cart closes. I want to send an email 4 hours. I send it at 3 days, or I send it at cart open, 1 day remaining, and 4 hours. I can't send that 4-hour email or the cart is closing in an hour from anywhere outside of event, like the event timed that's reading from time. I can go in 1 hour before the event and send a broadcast. Absolutely. For people that are closing their cart at midnight, somebody's got to be awake if they're sending it that way. I prefer to close in the middle of the day because if there's any issues, I don't want to deal with those issues first thing the next morning or at 2 a.m. I'll deal with them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll get everything done. But I will use the event with no emails tied to it and send out broadcasts so that, let's see. These are tricky because we're in the test site. But here I can see stats. You know, it'll put in my numbers here for a sequence or for a broadcast. So it really depends on when we're setting up North Pole to New York City, what do we need to know? If analytics are essential, then I would do it using scheduled broadcasts because I can schedule those guys to go out.
Yeah.
But I just can't do timing. If I need that 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 minutes, and then,
So emails would be good as just kind of a backup email. You know, like you could schedule your email broadcast to be your hour or 4 hour before, but then just have another one in the event saying, hey, by the way.
Well, here, let me show you. So we'll make a broadcast. Not to mention broadcast emails now with the visual editor, you can put in your countdown timer that reads from the event. So when you send something out, you can't, the visual editor currently is only in email broadcasts, not on event emails, and it's not in sequences. So when I send this out based on the event, cart closing, challenge is done, memberships opening, whatever it is, when that person opens the email, the timer is specific to when they opened it because it's reading from the event. Only way I can use this right now is using email broadcasts. When that changes and that feature is available on emails I send from events or emails I send in a sequence, you might use it differently. So here, if we put in, let's just use this one, get started, and we may not have a live event.
So the opt-in would automatically register them for this event after they do the form. You set that automation up.
Yeah, you set the automation so that they don't even know that they're getting registered for it.
Okay, wonderful.
There's fancy footwork you can do for sure. fancy footwork. Now you're hanging with me, you'll see all my fancy footwork. Let's just pretend. So we're going to pretend I wrote a message. We're going to pretend I put in the email. But when I click save and continue, here, you see I can't pick, sorry, I can send it right now, or I can click send it at a specific time. So there we go. Now we can actually schedule farther out. We were up until probably a month ago, we could only schedule out a month. But here I can choose, what time to send it. So let's say, yep, this is going to go out an hour before a cart closes. The cart's closing at noon. So this needs to go out at 11 a.m. and click apply. So I'm choosing based on when I want it to go. So if I want to use features, especially the countdown timer, that's really the big one, I need to use email broadcasts. But I have to have an event to put into the email broadcast. So make event, put in maybe the confirmation email, maybe, depending on how I'm using it, but leave those emails blank and use broadcasts so that I can send and include my countdown timer.
Got it. Nice. I
So,
like the product idea.
Yeah, product works so phenomenally well, and you keep using the same product. So let's say that you're only going to run the challenge a couple times a year, but the rest of the time you might want to have something else available for people. Maybe you want to run a summit. Maybe you want to give them like a free mini course. That is, oh my gosh, I love free product strategy. So here, we're going to change this. So we're going to change this to, we're going to just edit the title. Come on, there we go. So we'll call it Spring 5-Day Challenge. We're going to click Save. And then we're going to go back to the product. And let's say we're a fitness person. So I'll pretend I'm Tanya. She's a PBK member, and she does health and wellness and food stuff. So she runs a 5-day challenge that's kind of the buffet option. We're gonna, I don't know, get bathing suit ready, something like that. But then she's only running that in spring each year, and it's different content. But the rest of the year, she wants to run 25 kid-friendly recipes. She wants this to be her content, but she's not running it all the time. When it's inside a product, not only are you training the behavior of familiarity with your business, I just come in here and say, you know what? They can't see it right now. Okay, so now, and let's pretend this is, I don't know, something else.
Well, it is a check mark.
Yep, it is a check mark.
X is delete.
Don't do that. Don't do that one. So now, this product has all of my things, all of my library or my challenges or my summit that I ran or whatever it is I did. I don't have to rebuild it. I don't have to do anything. I can say, you know what? Challenge is over. Next morning, that afternoon, whatever. Challenge is done. And what's now available is the kid-friendly recipes.
And this could be part of your membership site, is that monthly membership just gives them access to what you are offering at the moment, or is that just depending on what kind of membership you want?
Yeah, if you've used a membership, like if you're using a product, you have this level of functionality. So for instance, a friend is setting up a way to deliver relevant prompts similar to Jasmine Star does for Instagram, where she gives you like a monthly theme and make this post or here's some pictures. But this person, and I said, when you're sending relevant material over the course of a year, you're gonna have 12 categories. Those are your 12 months. However, in her case, only 3 of those 12 categories are visible at any logged in time, because they will have the current month, the previous month, and the upcoming month. So they can work on their content, but then, when we add the next month here, this one goes away. So for her membership, it is access to 3 months of what she needs them to focus on. The point being, it helps facilitate their success with the content. They are already predisposed to wandering and finding shiny objects and not getting done what they need to get done in their business. And, oh, what's this? Oh, and then suddenly they didn't do anything. So she will have 12 categories each month for relevant themes and prompts and all the stuff that she's putting in. However, 3 categories are set to published. And this month, the next month comes in, this one comes off. The next month comes in, this one, oh my goodness, this one comes off. The next month comes in, this one comes off. So when they view the product as part of the membership that she's charging payment for, that's how their experience differs from what she would see. But yeah, it works phenomenally well. Phenomenally well. Yeah.
Maybe that's another topic we can look at is 3 or 4 different ways to set up a membership. Because I know we did that, but like actually visually see the drip versus the lock.
Oh yeah, and with which I just did a post this morning in PBK that you guys can both now see, that there's an entire product in your library that's PBK membership design.
Okay, nice.
It is all in there. Everything you could possibly need to create a membership, however it's going to work for you, is in your library. Preview of coming attractions, once we finish orientation, which finishes at the end of June, July and August are focused on membership design. So we have like special focus groups that come up in PBK. Membership design is the focus for July and August. So you can access the content anytime you want. It's in your library right now. We will be going through it for those people that want to join in that focused group in July and August.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to keep you on track, it's 12:51. So
thank you.
You have 4 minutes.
Amanda, does that help you?
No, this is great.
Perfect.
I just, like you said, we want to use the free product, but I think this gives me an idea that we can literally just put as many free products in here as we want, put them to draft. But then I just got to figure out how that's going to work with memberships, because I don't want to use a whole nother product just for membership. I'd like to use the free product one.
Well, what the key there is, you have whoever has access to this product is across your for instance, free Kajabi resource library is a separate product because I'm messing with the content. I'm turning things on, I'm turning them off. When you're running your content for your members, if they track with the content that's in the free product, you can actually give members access to that free product. More than likely, you're gonna have stuff, which is why they're paying for a membership, that the free people, that's not in the free product.
Okay.
So you could use a separate product 99% of the time.
Okay. Will do.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys. That was a perfect question. And anybody watching the replay, feel free. You can ask me anything you ever want underneath the video. I always reply and love